just discovered 3 migrants that had been locked in a metal toolbox in the back of a smuggler's truck. The migrants were discovered at a checkpoint near El Paso, Texas. Fortunately, they were found in time before they were seriously injured or worse. This discovery just days after more than 50 migrants were found dead in a tractor trailer in San Antonio, Texas, due to a failed smuggling attempt. Joining me now for more, live from the border, independent journalist and friend of our show, Allie Bradley. Allie, thanks for spending time with us tonight.
Thanks so much, Nolan, for having me tonight.
Allie, these pictures are shocking. How do agents even detect this stuff? Obviously, we know the tractor trailer was able to get through this unchecked, but how are we able to find some of these people locked away in really foreign objects?
Well, Nolan, they actually use canine teams out there very frequently. The canine will sniff something out, will alert that they, are carrying humans, that they are smuggling drugs, things like that. They also have X-ray machines that they will use as a secondary if they pull them over after the first one. Now, we talked about San Antonio. Well, today there was another 18-wheeler that had made it through these checkpoints. Once again, luckily, those people inside of that 18-wheeler were alive today. And this comes after the governor just said that he's implementing new truck checkpoints. So how that truck got through checkpoints, that's beyond me at this point. But these agents are working nonstop. They're maxed out, which we already know, which is why the governor created these strike teams to kind of come in and try to be a supplement to the Border Patrol.
Allie, all week long, we've been talking about the cartel and its relationship to what we've seen with smuggling. Are these people that we're seeing, like the images we're looking at, are they forced into these locations, or do they want to come into the country?
I don't know the conversations that they're having over on the other side in Mexico, Nolan, where, if they have a criminal history, is that their only route? If they can't pay the cartel, is that their only option? Obviously, this is not the ideal way to be transported in any capacity. These things were locked.
Sure.
They had to open them up with bolt cutters. But we have one of my DHS sources telling me right now, we have 523 deaths. One of them was today out on a ranch land. He was actually sitting there and he got alerts that there was someone that needed help. Border Patrol set off en route. It took them an hour to get there. By the time they got there, that gentleman had passed away from the elements, from heat stroke and heat exhaustion. So we're looking at 523 deaths already this fiscal year. That's since October. Last year, they had around 539 deaths. And, we're on pace to beat that at this point. That does not count the 50 plus people that were found in that trailer. So if you did count that, we're looking at well over 575 people that have already died out here in these elements and through drownings and other obvious tragic incidents.
Tragedy, that's something that we're talking a lot about, and as of recently, more and more about that. But I do want to talk about some video you shared with us earlier showing what happens when law enforcement at the border attempts to catch some of the smugglers. Now, this is very disturbing to watch, so I want to warn you, it's pretty graphic. But Allie, as we talk about this, how common are things like what we're seeing on the screen?
Unfortunately, extremely common. These are pursuits and bailouts that we see very often. These are situations that Border Patrol is engaged with every single day. A lot of these situations that we're seeing, it's the third or fourth smuggling pursuit that they're engaging in within a 15 to 45-minute time period. These 3 videos are within a week, within 2 counties that neighbor each other. So it is very common and something that shouldn't happen, right? But these people are evading law enforcement, and law enforcement, they have some kind of probable cause why they pull them over. They might see them load people into the vehicle, and that is suspicious, or maybe they're speeding, and that is what sets off the pursuit in the first place.
We've also got pictures of a truck that was flipped over following a pursuit in Kinney County, Texas, where authorities pursuing a smuggler. What happened in this case?
Yeah, so in this case, we actually know that one person died. We know there were several others injured in this situation. This was the 4th smuggling pursuit of the morning at this time. What I'm being told from the sheriff is that the driver in this incident got away, was never apprehended. So, this is just another one of those tragic incidents that we're seeing, again, where a migrant died in this crash that we're looking at right now.
Some migrant advocates are attributing these things to policies like Title 42. What are your sources saying?
Well, when it comes to Title 42 has really not been being executed to its full potential for quite a while. What a lot of the agents tell me is that they're now dealing with these manifestation of fear claims under Title 42, where someone can be unusually quiet, and that can actually allow them to claim asylum. So they're dealing with a lot of different nuances with Title 42, something that changes very rapidly, and it isn't in the same form that it was under the previous administration. Now, they all tell me if Title 42 goes away, they're going to be in even more of an issue with their manpower. We already know they don't have the manpower to deal with this. When we saw Remain in Mexico go away, we saw a little bit of a surge. We saw 530 people show up on a ranch land in the Del Rio sector. I mean, within hours of MPP going away. So they do fear that if Title 42 goes away, they're not going to be able to respond, that they're not going to be able to do their job. And unfortunately, that means unmanned miles of the border.
Independent journalist Allie Bradley. Allie, thanks for taking the time today. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Nolan. You too. Happy 4th.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.